KATSEYE Animal just dropped, and industry critics are already calling it the safest, most corporate radio track HYBE has released all year. Fans in the comments are acting like this is some kind of vocal revolution, real bridges, real chest voice, real melodies finally. But strip away the hype, and what Animal actually is Geffen quietly admitting their last two eras didn't work. Instead of fixing the root problem, they slapped an Ed Sheeran writing credit on a leftover pop ballad and called it a rebrand. Is this the grand vocal rebrand that saves the group, or just a corporate lab experiment masking a massive identity crisis? Let's start with the track itself. The very first second those acoustic chords hit, anyone with ears immediately went, wait, why does this sound like Ed Sheeran? Because it is Ed Sheeran. He co-wrote the track. Vocal coaches listening to the song pointed out that the melody structure, the acoustic bounce, and the British pop phrasing have Ed Sheeran's DNA written all over it. Now, from a purely vocal perspective, it's a massive win compared to Gnarly or Pinky Up. Vocal coaches actually pointed out something really smart about how this track was produced for live performances. Notice how the chorus stays anchored in their lower chest register instead of pushing super high falsettos. That's intentional. KATSEYE does heavy choreography, so keeping the chorus in a grounded register means they can actually hit those notes live without collapsing or hiding behind a backing track. Plus, we finally get real dynamic contrast here. Lara glides from that airy head voice down into a full chest register. Sophia gets that belting climb in the bridge, and even Yoonchae finally gets audible Eddie libs instead of being buried in the mix. But here's the cat. They named the song Animal, but musical-wise, it's about as dangerous as a house cat taking a nap. It promises this raw, wild energy in the title, but the actual track stays completely safe. It just feels like a generic pop demo HYBE dusted off and handed to them because it was guaranteed to hit radio playlists. For a track titled Animal, the beat stays pretty domesticated. Now, while the song stays a bit safe, the music video itself is an absolute visual masterpiece. If the vibe gave you major retro movie feelings, there's a reason for that. Stunning as those visuals look, they lead us straight into the real issue everyone is arguing about: corporate hypocrisy and the styling. We need to talk about the real issue here, or should I say the lingerie in the video. When KATSEYE dropped Animal, fans were expecting cool fashion, but instead, the second Demi Moore throws the clothes and says, let's get wild, the girls swap their corporate suits for corset, exposed lingerie, and instantly, the internet went crazy. The video tries to criticize corporate bosses for controlling and packaging young female artists, but KATSEYE is a corporate pop product created by Geffen. Watching a massive corporation try to sell us an anti-corporate message is like a billionaire giving you a lecture on why money is bad while standing on their private yacht. It just doesn't make sense. Many casual viewers felt the styling was completely forced just to get attention. One commented, I feel like the lingerie scene was so unnecessary and put in there just for people to talk about it. I feel gross even mentioning it, therefore giving it more attention. Another saying, making an MV satirizing how the music industry sexualizes female artists by deliberately sexualizing your artist does not sit right with me at all. It's just not the slay artistic statement they want everyone to believe when it's coming from the very corporate boardrooms it satirizes. And honestly, they're right, because at that point, you're not actually critiquing the problem, you're just profiting off it. Another added, on the surface, it reads like a satire of the whole over-sexualization by sleazy men in boardrooms, but there is no clear direction or tone that distinguishes it as being satire. So it just becomes the very thing it's trying to poke fun at. And honestly, in my opinion, the critics are completely right on this one. The company is just using the word satire as an excuse to put out revealing outfits for views and clickbait. There's a huge difference between real high fashion confidence and just putting young idols in exposed lingerie for cheap shock value. It feels like the company totally ran out of creative ideas for this comeback. So instead of giving us a great concept, they just decided to rely on exposed skin to make sure people would argue about it online. When management uses the girls as clickbait instead of giving them quality styling, it just feels lazy. At what point do we stop calling it edgy satire and just admit management ran out of good ideas for the girls? This brings us to the biggest question: what is HYBE actually doing with KATSEYE? If you step back and look at all their releases, you start to see a very clear corporate pattern. First, they drop a weird, noisy song to spark huge arguments and hate streams online. Then, once everyone is talking about them, they immediately release a safe pop track like Animal. That way, fans can point at it and say, see, look how versatile they are. But there's a big difference between real versatility and just changing outfits. Forcing a new genre every 3 months isn't true versatility, it's management running an identity crisis disguised as a strategy. 1 month they're internet meme girls, the next month they're telenovela stars, and now they're singing Ed Sheeran radio track. It feels like HYBE is treating KATSEYE like a lab experiment, constantly throwing different formulas at the wall to see what sticks. Now look at the end of the day. Where does Animal actually leave KATSEYE? All members are insanely talented, ridiculously magnetic, and completely capable of carrying top-tier material. They delivered their vocals, they ate up the visuals, and they gave 100% to this release. The issue has never been their performance, it's how management handles their direction. Let's be real, Animal isn't a bad song. It's super easy on the ears, it's listenable, and it's gonna stream amazingly well. But KATSEYE as a group is far more interesting than the music they're currently being handed. As they grow, they deserve real concepts made specifically for them, not recycled formulas, random brand collabs, and cheap lingerie outfits put in the video just to farm outrage click. KATSEYE doesn't need to keep testing lab formulas every 3 months, and fans shouldn't have to grade them on a curve of, well, at least they sang this time. They just need a management team that actually trusts their identity. But what do you guys think? Is Animal a total bop and a step in the right direction for the group? Or are you completely tired of these fake, corporate, empowering storylines? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive, and I will see you guys in the next video.